Ladies, let's talk about something that's got a whole lot of y'all confused out here. Consistency versus courtesy. See, a lot of women mistake a man being polite for him being interested. And that's how you end up wasting time on someone who was never really serious about you to begin with. Now, hear me when I say this. A man who likes you will be consistent. Period. You won't have to guess, wonder, analyze every little text, or sit around with your girls playing relationship. You won't be confused because he won't give you a reason to be. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some good men out here who were raised right. They open doors, they smile, they compliment you. They might even buy you a drink or help you carry something heavy. But that doesn't always mean he's trying to date you. That's just manners. That's courtesy. That's being a decent human being. But that ain't necessarily interest. And if you don't know the difference, you'll be out here thinking every man that smiles at you wants to build a future with you. Girl, no, he's just being polite. But consistency is something different. It means he's showing up over and over. It means he's not just talking to you when it's convenient for him, or when he's bored, or when he's lonely at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. A consistent man is there in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. He texts you before you text him. He calls to hear your voice, not just to say what you're doing. He asks how your day was, and he actually cares about the answer. That's not courtesy. That's intentional. That's what interest looks like. You got to understand, men don't put in effort where they don't see value. We don't chase what we don't want. If a man is calling you every day, taking you out, checking in, making sure you're good, bringing you little things he knows you like, and doing it without you asking, that's consistency. That's a man making it clear, I see you and I want you. But if you only hear from him once in a while, or only when he needs something, or he comes and goes like a cold breeze in February, that's not a man who's into you. That's a man who's being nice when he feels like it. Some of y'all are out here holding on to a man who texts you good morning twice a week and liking his own Instagram comments like he's doing you a favor. You're making excuses for him, saying, well, he's just busy, or he's not really good at texting, or he's got a lot going on right now. Let me tell you something. Busy people make time for what they care about. And if he's not consistent, he doesn't care enough. You deserve better than somebody who only shows up when it's convenient for them. You deserve somebody who makes time for you, not just finds time. Consistency builds trust. It tells you, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. It means the same person shows up on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Not somebody who loves you on Friday and ghosts you by Sunday. If you're dating someone and you feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster, one day he's hot, the next day he's cold, then he's warm just long enough to keep you hanging on, that's not consistency. That's confusion. That's manipulation. That's a man giving you just enough attention to keep you in his pocket, but not enough to commit. And let me tell you something else. Consistent effort comes from genuine interest. If he's into you, you won't have to wonder where you stand. You won't have to bring it up over and over. You won't have to beg for attention or affection or time. Because a man who wants you will make it obvious. He'll take the guesswork out of it. That's the thing about men. We don't do gray areas when we're serious. We make it known. So if he's showing up once every few days, giving you crumbs of his attention, saying all the right things but never backing them up with action, he's not consistent. He's just being nice. And a man being nice don't mean he's your man. It just means he knows how to treat a lady. But that doesn't mean you're his lady. Don't confuse the two. When a man is consistent, you don't chase, you don't question, and you definitely don't compete because his actions speak for him. That's how you know he's not just being nice, he's genuinely interested. But if he's only around when he wants something, or if he disappears for days and comes back acting like nothing happened, you already got your answer. Don't let politeness fool you into holding on to someone who was never yours to begin with. Let me tell you something right now. Men are not complicated. We're really not. Y'all be out here turning it into rocket science, trying to decode our every move, every text, every emoji, trying to figure out what we really mean. But the truth is simple. If a man wants you, he puts in effort. That's it. That's the whole game. Effort equals interest. A man who's into you is going to do what it takes to be with you. He's not going to play around. He's not going to wait around. And he sure as hell ain't going to leave it up to you to figure out how he feels. See, the thing is, a man will always invest in something he values. If he wants that car, he's going to research it, test drive it, save up, put down the money, and keep that thing clean like it's a baby. Same with a career. He's going to work, grind, show up early, stay late. Why? Because it matters to him. So don't you sit there and think for 1 second that if he's not putting in that kind of energy with you, it's because he's just not ready. Nah, he's just not interested enough. Harsh truth? Maybe. But it's the kind of truth that'll save you from wasting 5 years on a part-time lover. Y'all love to say he's not putting in effort because he's scared of getting hurt, or he has trauma, or he's emotionally unavailable. Listen to me, that ain't your problem to fix. You are not his therapist. You are not a rehab center for broken men. If he wants to be with you, he's going to fight through whatever he's dealing with to make it happen. You will not have to convince him to try. A real man who's truly interested in you will move mountains. He'll make time when he ain't got none. He'll change his schedule. He'll rearrange his priorities. Because when a man wants something, he goes and gets it. Point blank. Let me give you a little example. If a man hears about a pair of shoes that are only dropping in one store in one city at 7 a.m. on a Saturday, he's going to wake up early, stand in that line, and wait. All that for a pair of shoes? You telling me that same man can't make time to call you back, to plan a real date, to remember your birthday? No, that ain't about ability. That's about willingness. It's about what matters to him. You matter or you don't, and his effort will show you which it is. See, when a man's really feeling you, he's not afraid to look foolish. He's not afraid to put himself out there. He's not scared to do the most. He's going to ask questions. He's going to learn what you like, what you don't like, what makes you laugh. He's going to do what he can to make your life easier. He's going to make plans ahead of time. He's not just going to text you at 10 p.m. saying you up. That ain't effort. That's convenience. A man who's interested doesn't hit you with last-minute nonsense. He's intentional. He comes correct. And I know some of y'all are thinking, well, he's just not that expressive. He's shy. He's quiet. Let me tell you something. Shyness don't stop nobody from going after what they want. That man who's shy around you is probably out here being loud and confident in other areas of his life. So don't give him a pass just because he's low-key. A shy man still knows how to show up for a woman he cares about. He may not be the loudest, but his effort will speak loud enough. Now, effort doesn't always mean big, grand gestures. It's not always about roses and candlelight dinners, though those are nice. Sometimes it's the little things. Checking in to make sure you made it home safe, asking how your mom's doing, remembering something you said in passing 3 weeks ago. Those things, that's effort. That's him showing you I was paying attention. You matter to me. And if he ain't doing any of that, sis, you already got your answer. You can't teach a man to care. You can't train him like a puppy. If he's not putting in effort from the start, it's not gonna magically change once you get into a relationship. What you see is what you get. Don't fall for potential. Don't date him for who he could be. Date him for who he's being right now. And if all you're getting is the bare minimum, that's because that's all he wants to give you. And let me tell you something else. The man who really wants you won't let you question it. You won't be sitting around wondering how he feels. His effort will tell you everything. So if you're out here doing all the work, initiating every call, planning every hangout, keeping the connection alive while he just floats in and out whenever it suits him, you're not in a relationship, you're in a situationship. You're in a one-woman show and he's just a guest star. Don't give girlfriend energy to somebody who won't even give you boyfriend basics. Let's talk about communication, real communication, not just text, not just emojis, not just him hitting you with what you're doing 10 times a week like that counts as showing interest. I'm talking about intentional communication. See, a lot of y'all are stuck trying to interpret smoke signals, trying to figure out what he meant by what he said, trying to decode dry one-word replies and think there's something deep hidden underneath. Baby, there's not. When a man likes you, he's going to communicate with purpose. It's going to be clear. You will not have to guess. A man who's serious about you isn't going to play games with his words. He ain't trying to be mysterious. He's not going to leave you wondering if you should double text or if he's just busy. No, ma'am. When he wants you, you will know. Not because he says a bunch of sweet nothings, but because what he says has weight behind it. It has intention. He's not talking just to pass time. He's talking to build something. You'll hear it in the way he asks you questions, the way he follows up on your answers, the way he opens up to you, not just about what he ate or what he watched, but about his dreams, his fears, his past, and his future. Let me be real with you. There's a difference between a man who's talking to you and a man who's communicating with you. Talking is surface level. It's what's up, you good, LOL, and bet. That's just noise. Communication, though, that's intentional. That's a man saying, I want to know who you are. I want to understand you. I want to connect with you. And that kind of conversation doesn't just happen once a week or when he's bored. It's consistent, it's thoughtful, and it's meaningful. Here's how you know the difference. If you're doing all the work, initiating every conversation, keeping it going and stretching it out just to feel like he still might care, then he doesn't. A man who's into you wants to talk to you. He wants to hear your voice. He wants to hear about your day, even the boring parts. He wants to hear about your annoying coworker, your big presentation, your favorite song, and your childhood memory. He's not checking in just to check a box. He's checking in because he genuinely wants to be a part of your world. You ever talk to a man and it feels like you're dragging every word out of him like pulling teeth? That's not intentional communication. That's a man doing the minimum to keep you on the line, and then you sit there saying, well, he's not much of a talker. No, he's just not talking to you. Let that sink in, because I promise you, if you were the woman he couldn't stop thinking about, he'd find words. Even the quietest man knows how to speak when he finds something worth speaking up for. And another thing, when a man is really about you, his words and actions match. See, some men know exactly what to say. They got game. They'll tell you everything you want to hear. They'll talk about the future, drop hints about someday, even throw around the word love like it's confetti. But you got to pay attention to the follow-through. A man who's truly intentional doesn't just talk about taking you out, he does it. He doesn't just say he misses you, he shows up. He doesn't just say he sees a future with you, he starts building one. Brick by brick. If his words are beautiful but his behavior is inconsistent, you're dealing with a talker, not a communicator. That's the difference. Real men don't use words as decoration. They use them to build trust, connection, and understanding. They say what they mean, and they mean what they say. If you have to play detective every time he says something, wondering if he's serious or just being smooth, chances are he's not being intentional, he's being clever. Now let me tell you this, intentional communication isn't always perfect. A man may fumble his words. He might not always say the right thing at the right time, but if his heart is in it, you'll feel it. You'll know when a man is trying not just to impress you, but to understand you. And when a man is trying to understand you, to connect with you on that deeper level, That's when you know he's really into you. Some of y'all are spending your nights staring at your phones, rereading the same 6 texts, trying to find some deeper meaning in messages like cool and "ite." Girl, stop. That ain't deep. That's dry. You don't have to decode a man who wants you. His words won't leave you confused. They'll give you peace. They'll feel like home. So if he's leaving you on red for days, if he's dodging real conversations, if he only wants to talk late at night when he's bored or lonely, he's not trying to communicate. He's trying to keep you around. And you deserve more than that. You deserve a man who talks to you like you matter. Because when he really wants you, you won't just be another conversation. You'll be the conversation he looks forward to all day. Let me break something down for you right now. A man can say all the right things. He can compliment you, flatter you, sweet talk you until the sun comes up. But at the end of the day, if those words aren't backed up by action, they mean absolutely nothing. You can't build a relationship on compliments. You can't build trust on smooth lines. What matters, what always matters is what he does, not just what he says. If you want to know how a man feels about you, don't listen to his words, watch his feet. See, a lot of y'all get caught up in the fantasy because he knows how to talk. He tells you you're beautiful. He says you're special. He calls you queen and posts a little heart emoji when he texts. And don't get me wrong, everybody loves to feel appreciated. But baby, don't you mistake verbal affection for real love. A man can say, "I miss you," and still not make any effort to see you. He can say, "You mean a lot to me," and still treat you like an option. He can say, "I love you," and still put in zero effort to show it. That's not love, that's performance. When a man truly values you, he's gonna show it. Not sometimes, not when it's easy, not just when he wants something. He's gonna show you through his consistency, his effort, his protection, his support, his presence. He's not going to leave you wondering. He's not going to say one thing and then do another. Because real men understand that love is a verb. It's not just something you say, something you do. Let me give you an example. If he tells you, "You're the most important person in my life," but you can't ever reach him when you need him, what does that tell you? If he says, "I want a future with you," but he hasn't even introduced you to his people, hasn't made any plans, and disappears when life gets a little stressful, what are you really dealing with? You're dealing with a man who knows how to say what you want to hear, but doesn't know how to be what you need him to be. And I know y'all want to believe the good in people. You think, well, maybe he's just going through something, or maybe he doesn't know how to show love. Listen, you are not his emotional training ground. You are not supposed to teach a grown man how to love you. If he's grown enough to date, he's grown enough to show up. And if he can't do that, then you have to believe his actions, even if his words sound sweet. Some of y'all are staying in situations based on what a man used to say. He used to be so attentive, used to call me every day, used to make me feel so loved. Okay, but what's he doing now? Because love doesn't exist in the past tense. Love lives in the present. If he's no longer showing up for you, no longer putting in the work, no longer matching his words with action, then it's time to stop holding on to the memory of who he was and start paying attention to the reality of who he is. You can't fall in love with potential. You can't date based on promises that never become plans. Real men don't leave you in the dark. They don't play the hot and cold game. They don't keep you on the shelf, pull you down when they're lonely, and then put you right back when they've had their fill of attention. That's not love, that's convenience. And you weren't made to be someone's convenience. Now I get it, some guys really do like you, but they just don't have the emotional maturity to treat you the way you deserve. But liking you isn't enough. Complimenting you isn't enough. Being nice isn't enough. You need a man who follows through, a man whose actions are loud, clear, and consistent, A man who doesn't just say, I'm here for you, but actually shows up when life gets hard. That's how you know he's serious. So here's what I want you to start doing. Stop listening so hard and start watching. Watch how he treats you when no one's looking. Watch how he shows up when it's inconvenient. Watch how he talks about the future and whether he's doing anything to build it. Watch how he reacts when you set boundaries. Does he respect them or does he test you? You'll learn more from watching than you ever will from listening to sweet talk. A man can't fake action for long. He can fake words, yes. He can say all the right things to keep you hooked, but actions, that takes effort. That takes intention, and that's where the truth always lives. You deserve a man who shows up for you the way he says he will. You deserve someone whose love isn't just poetic, it's practical, present, and proven every day through how he treats you.